So on the last day of the 14th World Football Crusade, as the teams come out, we shall have the little Caesar, Maradona, confronting Emperor Beckenbauer to contest the right to rule the global game. As they move into the evening sunlight of this latter-day Colosseum called the Stadio Olimpico, with its 85,000 capacity, the welcome is going to be predominantly and unsurprisingly a German one. Until a few days ago, we thought there was going to be a party here, a colourful Italian celebration, but it's the flags of the German supporters in the 73,000 crowd which dominate the scene, as they have at 5 of the last 7 World Cup finals, and indeed at the last 3 in succession. The man in charge is from Mexico, Edgardo Codesal, 39 years of age, and his linesman on the right, Mikol Listkovic of Poland with the moustache, and on the left, Armando Hoyos Perez of Colombia. Shot there of the West German Chancellor Helmut Kohl, and the Italian President and Prime Minister are here also for a summit meeting of world football, which only happens every 4 years. Rudi Völler pronounced fit after being carried off in the semi-final, and you'll understand why the players are so friendly here on the two sides, because 11 of the 22 start the match play their club football here in Italy. So there's lots of local interest, despite Italy not being in the final. And now we have the presentation of shirts and a football to the children on behalf of the charity UNICEF, for which the shirts they now receive will be auctioned at a later date. A nice touch from FIFA. Every player presents a shirt to every child. And the crowd wait and wonder whether Argentina can retain their world title with a team which has just 3 survivors from the one that played 4 years ago. They've had to make changes, as you were saying, because 4 players are suspended for disciplinary reasons. By now, the faces and the names must be familiar. Basualdo and Buchwald, who scored the winner last time, will be in midfield. Maradona, who whistles as the crowd watch these pictures on the gigantic screens at either end of the stadium. He got the usual reception. And Bilardo, whose last match this is, in charge of Argentina. Either country here could, or one of them will, equal the record of Italy and Brazil and win the World Cup for the 3rd time. West Germany with Brehme and Kohler, Augenthaler. All this is unchanged. It's when we get to the midfield that it's interesting. Franz Beckenbauer had 2 decisions to make. 2 of the midfield positions, not that of Matthäus, but the others were in doubt. Häßler, again injured against England, got 1 vote, and Littbarski, 30 years old, got the other. And Klinsmann up front with Völler. Franz Beckenbauer also steps down after tonight. There's talk of him going to the United States to take charge of their team in 4 years' time. And down on the substitutes bench, some of the suspended players are sitting there as well. But the main striker there is Balbo, number 3. Calderon's been left out tonight as well. And so has Olaf Thon of West Germany. He joins the substitutes. And the little man who means so much to his country, who had such a part to play when they beat West Germany in Mexico, is here at the end of this long tournament, when early on it looked as though he might have been one of those on the plane home. Argentina, blue shirts, white shorts. West Germany in their familiar white. The colours decided that way because 4 years ago the Germans changed into green and Argentina wore their stripes. And FIFA decided this time it should be the other way round. And the Argentines had to change. And in the early evening in Rome, with the floodlights on but still plenty of daylight, the World Cup final of 1990, the 14th, gets underway. And here's Littbarski for West Germany, looking for Völler. And over goes Simon, the sweeper, number 20, who'll play right at the back for Argentina. In the cycling shorts is Ruggieri from Real Madrid. Basualdo, number 4. Brehme. Buchwald. Forward run by Basualdo. Little flick for Maradona. And Häßler gets away for West Germany. Here's Klinsmann. Völler's in the middle, so is Häßler. Offside flag is up. And it was interesting, Trevor, that when Maradona got the ball for the first time, it was Buchwald who made the challenge.
Well, it looks as if Kohler really picked up Gary Lineker and possibly their best marker. You see the offside definitely off. Is going to pick up Desotti and Maradona and Buchwald. They've got quite big defenders, the Germans, and Maradona likes to twist and turn. Perhaps not the ideal player for them to play against, so we'll see how he shapes today and what sort of face of Maradona we're going to see during this final.
Well, there is more than one, that's true. Number 21, Troglio, who's been playing his club football here in Rome for Lazio, and Völler plays for Roma, so there are players who know this stadium only too well on the pitch. Augenthaler. 8, Häßler. 14, Berthold. Völler. It's a free kick to West Germany. Foul by Serrisweiler on Völler. And it's given Buchwald the chance to move forward. One of the best headers of the ball in the German team. Brehme to swing in the free kick. Klinsmann's there as well. So is Augenthaler. Klinsmann is there. Oh, and Völler tried to latch on to Klinsmann's flick, and it flew over.
Oh, there's a bit of a fortunate escape there. Great cross, whipped in at pace, and really the Argentine defenders wondering whether Goicoechea was going to come, because it was across the 6-yard box. I think Klinsmann's touch just put Völler off.
Rudi Völler's goal-scoring record, quite outstanding for the German team, and the first chance of this final falls to him. Lorenzo is starting off on the left for Argentina. Here's Matthäus. Burruchaga. Lorenzo. Matthäus with a strong challenge coming in from Basualdo. This is Burruchaga. Argentina are moving well. Basualdo again, and it's Burruchaga. Maradona's in the penalty area, and Augenthaler tries to avoid conceding the corner, and in fact does even better and gets a free kick against Burruchaga.
Burruchaga, the number 7 there, just jogging back, is really the one who does have a little telepathic understanding with Maradona. They do link particularly well, and also the number 4, Basualdo. That trio possibly are going to be the 3 that are going to have to play well if Argentina are going to retain their trophy.
It is Häßler for Germany. Brehme's moved up on the left wing. Littbarski's got the ball. Häßler, Littbarski, good move. Tackle, or interception rather, by Serrisweiler, number 18, but the referee saw the offence again, and the Argentines are furious. They didn't think that was a free kick. I'm not so sure it was either, but it's a wonderful position. And Goicoechea will have to be careful here. It's absolutely central.
Well, you saw the replay. There was never a free kick as far as I was concerned, and I can understand Argentina being upset. In fact, Littbarski just sort of stumbled over his own feet, really, and is in a terrific position.
The arguments are prolonged. The yellow card will come out unless they get back. And Argentina are rattled by the decision, and their response is a yellow card for number 9, Dazzotti. Silly to get a yellow card so early in the game, really. 5 minutes gone. Free kick to Germany. Matthäus and Brehme are standing behind Littbarski in threatening positions. And still the Mexican referee struggles to get them 10 yards. It's Brehme, it's the wall. Augenthaler, it's a defender. Goicoechea saves the ball from going over the line.
Well, he is particularly dangerous, as England know to their cost, in those particular positions, on his left foot. A big wall, as you can see. Leg goes out, Burruchaga it was. Unfortunately for Argentina, a more solid block, and it didn't get a nasty deflection as England's did.
Ball coming off Sensini on the far side. Very warm in Rome again tonight. Crowd in shirt sleeves. Not Mr. Beckenbauer. He's got the jacket on, standing in that familiar upright position. Shake of the head. They say he's aged a bit during this tournament, but he was such a good-looking fella before he started. I think he had a little bit to spare there. Here's Ruggieri. Berthold. Germans beginning to force the pace. Klinsmann. Good turn. Völler's waiting in the middle, so is Häßler now. It's Völler with the header. Combination between the two strikers, so important to the way Germany play. Cross from one to the other. Oswaldo. Haven't yet seen anything of Maradona. Brehme. Sarrizuela, number 18. Beckenbauer will be aware that he's the Argentine dead ball kick specialist. Sarrizuela has led the way in the two penalty competitions they've had. And I suppose we have to remind ourselves that the final itself could go to penalties, although most people hope it won't. There's Klinsmann. Oswaldo playing fairly deep. Ruggieri. Buchwald. No question at all that Buchwald, number 6, is marking Maradona. He's the player the Germans have picked to do the most important job defensively for them. Kohler on Dazzotti. Buchwald, oh, he robbed Maradona there and made yards. Völler and Klinsmann are waiting in the centre here. Völler. Oh, Klinsmann didn't quite get there. 10 minutes gone, and already the front two have threatened Argentina 2 or 3 times. Troglio's got a free kick. He seemed to dive to me. And again, the refereeing in this opening period is under great scrutiny from FIFA. This was the attempt by Völler. Simon. Dazzotti just got a yard on Kohler, but he made it up, the German, with a good tackle. Berthold. It's a compliment to Bobby Robson's team that West Germany had started in this final far better than they did against England. Häßler. Littbarski, Völler. Littbarski, good attempt.
Well, Littbarski puts his head up to the sky and Wojciech left it, didn't bother to go for it, but it was very close. Good ball by Häßler. Little layback. There, Littbarski, a good curling shot. Wasn't that far over that angle of the goal.
Thomas Häßler very much involved there in the build-up down the left-hand side. Troglio. Buchwald. Maradona's in there short. but again the Germans whip it away. Brehme. They're not giving Argentina time to breathe. Brehme again. Völler! Oh, it took the defender as well, I think. And Rudi Völler has already been so close. This is Brehme, and Völler, yes, it came off Ruggeri at the last. Trollio. Burruchaga. Free kick to Argentina. But the feature of this opening quarter of an hour has been how many balls the Germans have whipped in for Völler and Klinsmann. Plus Littbarski's shot, of course. Now Argentina, for the first time, can send up the heavy mob for a free kick. Ruggeri is there, number 19. That was his touch. Burruchaga. It's a goal kick.
As I say, the Germans definitely made the better start, but we've seen it so often, this particular World Cup, with Argentina. They look as if they're being hemmed back and suddenly come through in games and get goals when you don't expect them to. At the moment, really, they're just soaking up the German pressure and not really pushing forward. They've got Desotti and Maradona up there, but they're getting very little support, and Burruchaga occasionally joining them, but as much as possible they're getting men goal side.
Häßler. Well, Maradona up to now has been a spectator. Buchwald. It's a good strong run again. The challenge coming in from behind was by Desotti. Free kick given. Buchwald powered his way through the centre of the field, and Desotti's got to be very careful, the number 9. He's had a yellow card already. And this was the little shove. Matthäus has placed the ball this time. Völler and Klinsmann wait in the middle. Going to be joined now by Buchwald. But Brehme may still shoot from here. Through goes Brehme. Littbarski. Outside him, Häßler. Buchwald a forward run, Ruggeri a header out. Augenthaler. Littbarski. Swung wide towards Thomas Berthold. Buchwald beats Maradona again. Trollio. Kohler. Number 10, Lothar Matthäus. Foul. Ruggeri on Klinsmann. 15 minutes gone. Argentina 0, West Germany 0. But the European team are dominating. Well, Klinsmann appeared to be pushed as the free kick was being taken. The referee let play go. Basualdo for Argentina. Matthäus. And Klinsmann in some space. He's lost his marker. The sweepers had to come across. Simon. Every German pass is being cheered by their 30,000 or so fans in the stadium. Berthold. Matthäus. Well, Maradona's involved there. He's been fouled by Buchwald. Number 6 as he went for the ball. Burruchaga for Argentina. Sensini. Ruggeri and Brehme. It's a free kick to West Germany. Brehme was bundled over. Völler to Klinsmann. Lorenzo. Basualdo. Burruchaga. Good ball from Basualdo to Troglio. This is Lorenzo, number 13. Burruchaga. Maradona with Buchwald. But Argentina are making progress. This is Lorenzo. This is Basualdo. It's good play. Dazzotti curls it in. Matthäus has robbed Burruchaga, and Germany have got 3 against 2. Real chances here. Völler. And he ran himself into 2 defenders, Rudi Völler, when Klinsmann was hovering on the 6-yard line, hoping he could cross it.
Sweeper Simon did great there to hold him up, because Matthäus dispossessed their midfield. Burruchaga ran at the Argentinian defence, and Völler with a 1 against 1 should have got a shot there at least, but Simon blocked him off, and another little let-off for Argentina.
Well, the Germans will be encouraged by the amount of service they've got into Völler and Klinsmann in this opening 20 minutes. They've had lots of the ball, and they've shown that they can be very dangerous, but Serizuela helped Simon out there. If they could just get a midfield man up in support behind those front 2, they could perhaps do even more damage, Germany, because there's space around. Augenthaler, Buchwald. Now that's Maradona's job, really, to go back with his marker, and he didn't, and Buchwald gave the ball away. Now Maradona. There he is. Foul. Gets the ball back straight away, and again he's tackled quickly. And again. They're surrounding him, but the referee was happy enough that the Germans played the ball this time, and the crowd jeer Maradona.
Rather sadly, at the moment, Maradona's having one of those games where he's just waiting for any contact and diving over, and that's why the final crowd here are whistling him when he gets possession at the moment, and let's hope it's not going to continue in that vein, because I don't think Argentina are going to win a game if he's just relying on that.
Well, we came to this World Cup suggesting Argentina might be a team of Maradona and 10 others, and I'm just wonder in the final whether someone else can raise their game to help him as much as he needs. Matthäus for West Germany. Right across, offside, flags up on the far side. I think it was against Völler. There have been noises made today, incidentally, by the hierarchy of FIFA, João Havelange and Sepp Blatter, that they're going to look at the structure of the tournament before the next World Cup in 4 years' time, because we have a team here in Argentina who are in the final, having won outright only 2 of their 6 matches and scored only 5 real goals. Not counting, I mean, by that, penalty shootouts. Serizuela. Kohler was fouled.
Good example there of that attack by Argentina. Dazzotti, the number 9 it was who fouled Kohler, and he's the player who's coming in for Tunisia, and definitely hasn't got anywhere near the same pace as him, and that's why Argentina are playing a lot of stifling play in midfield, and that's where it's all breaking down. Whereas Caniggia, with his pace and speed, did upset a lot of the defences, and they could play it over the top into the corner, such as the ball they just played. But at the moment, they've got no one with speed to get behind the German defence.
So the Germans have by far the better of the first 23 minutes, but the score is 0-0 in the World Cup final, and it's Häßler on the ball. Clever dribbler. Matthäus. Berthold. And Berthold goes again. Matthäus. Well, any striker in the world would be pleased with the amount of service he's getting, Trevor, in the first 25 minutes. They're aiming for him all the time, crosses are going in, and he just hasn't got the final touch up to now.
They're good crosses as well, the sort of cross we've been mentioning about Paul Gascoigne during the World Cup. He whips them in at pace, and so you really don't have to get that much power, it's just the timing. If you can just flick them on, at the moment he's getting a bit underneath them, and they're going a bit high and wide, but if they get a sufficient number in there, I'm sure one will get on target.
The marking back there, incidentally, Surizuela is taking Völler, and Ruggeri is marking Klinsmann. That was the way the Argentine coach, Bilardo, elected to plan his tactics. Out of that muddle comes Brehme and Littbarski. Challenge was by Lorenzo, and it's going to be a throw into West Germany. Little Häßler's gone in support, and he hasn't been picked up. With all this amount of play, West Germany must feel that they should have had a goal. Buchwald. Häßler. Littbarski. Still. Now it's 1 against 1, Dazzotti and Kohler. But Jürgen Kohler, who missed the early part of this competition, in fact, the first 3 matches, and only came in against Holland, has done some excellent marking jobs, particularly on Van Basten and Skuravi of Czechoslovakia. And he was also the man who shadowed Gary Lineker. He's now marking Dazzotti, the number 9 of Argentina. And number 10, Maradona. On the ball now. Lorenzo. Oh, it's a good ball. Good shot, but with space in front of him. Dazzotti to his right. Good tackle by Buchwald. The Germans are snapping in. Häßler, and they're stifling Argentina's attack at birth at the moment. Augenthaler. Littbarski's over on the left wing. Tries to get it back into Kohler. Tackle from behind on Littbarski was a bad one. It was number 17, Sensini, who was responsible. He was spoken to by the referee without being given the card. Littbarski was injured and missed the semi-final against England. Here's Matthäus. Augenthaler. And they've been caught out there, West Germany. There's a man short at the back. This is Dazzotti. And Kohler was covering. Augenthaler lost possession and also lost his position. And that's where Argentina are very dangerous. They've got a good counter-attacking style if given the chance. 26 minutes gone in the first half here in Rome. West Germany 0, Argentina 0. Berthold. Augenthaler, Brehme. Matthäus. Free kick against Ruggieri. Handball was given, and the Germans, from what was a fairly innocuous position really, because Klinsmann was finding the bounce and the hand went up. Ruggieri and Brehme and Matthäus on that side. Matthäus rolls it across for Häßler. Matthäus again, and Sensini has to stick a foot out. Full-time defending for Argentina here. Even Maradona was back there. Forward by Augenthaler, Häßler. Matthäus.
Well, as we approach half an hour, you have to stay for a World Cup final. It's a pretty poor spectacle, and really, if you get a match like this, you need two sides wanted to play properly, and Argentina have come here to defend, and the West Germans, if we want it to be a good game, I think, have to get a goal.
Gazzotti. Well, a goal is certainly what the match needs. Lorenzo. Back to him again from Maradona. And Maradona once more. Good cross and well cleared too. Troglio is in there waiting. That'll be a free kick to Argentina. And we did see there a little flash of skill from Maradona on the left, and almost immediately it raises the Argentine tempo. Ruggieri is up on the far side. Burruchaga's in there too. Here comes Ruggieri. Defending headers by the Germans have been good and solid so far. Cleared their lines well. Position after half an hour of the 14th World Cup final. South America have won 7 of the previous 13, Europe 6, so the Germans hoping to level it tonight between the two major football continents. Matthäus. Häßler, good ball. And still Häßler, and now Berthold onside. But the cross disappointing from a player whose club football will be in this stadium next season now that it's been rebuilt. Thomas Berthold from Roma, and he was looking for Rudi Völler.
Well, Franz, Beckenbauer there, given a little nod, but wouldn't have been very happy with the cross. And of course, Germany have had a lot of possession, but because of the numbers that Argentina have had back, they've not had a real clear-cut opportunity, and Goicoechea just left that one from Littbarski on the edge of the area, and we've had a few crosses and Völler hasn't got any on target, and so neither side really has made a point-blank save.
Now it's been promised without fulfilment so far, mainly from the Germans. This is Burruchaga. Free kick given, use of the elbows. Augenthaler. Häßler. Klinsmann. Häßler's gone again.
A good one too, just brought Simon, the sweeper, out, and if he could have got a good cross, they were a little bit stretched then, but again, just couldn't get the final ball in. Here you can see the 1-2, Klinsmann, Häßler with his left foot, just getting to the byline, whipping it in, but Augenthaler, comfortable take.
This is Buchwald. Blocked by Matthäus. Oh, careless by Buchwald. Matthäus. And still, it's too long for Klinsmann. And that was too long for Völler. Maradona, a good touch on the edge of his own penalty area. Buchwald. Now there could be a break, but oh, what a fine piece of intercepting by Kohler for Germany. Berthold. Buchwald. Brehme. Littbarski. Häßler. Littbarski. Zotti against Augenthaler, but he's outnumbered. Berthold starts the attack again for West Germany, and this is Klinsmann. They've had so much possession, nearly all of it in fact, the Germans. They've looked so full of life up to the edge of the penalty area, but haven't managed to produce it close to goal. Häßler. Brehme, always a bad challenge after the ball had gone by Troglio. Buchwald. Referee saw it actually and spoke to Troglio off the ball. Matthäus, Klinsmann. Buchwald. Wasn't the easiest ball for him to bring down. Klinsmann's touch, not so good. But Argentina just pulling players back behind the ball and waiting for West Germany to make their minds up. Völler appeal for handball against Buchwald. Referee said chest. 35 minutes gone. No score. Troglio. Maradona. In quickly, Buchwald. Völler. Buchwald. Challenge was by Matthäus, but he played the ball. Over goes Simon. He felt he was fouled, and he was, by Littbarski. '17 is Sensini with a forward run. There haven't been many of those from the Argentina midfield players in this first half. Been on the receiving end mostly. Littbarski now again for Germany. Matthäus. Häßler. Outside him, Thomas Berthold. And West Germany force the corner. Buchwald has gone up. Augenthaler has gone up. Littbarski will take it. Brehme. Oh, it hits the Argentine player coming out. I think it was the centre forward actually, Zotti, who was back there and blocked that. Buchwald, and now he's well up in the attack. Making a run now, Zotti. This is Sensini. Buchwald. Foul on the edge of the area on Basualdo. I think it may have been Buchwald who knocked him over, but is it in a position for Maradona to do damage? It was Buchwald indeed, and it may yet be Maradona. One of the best left feet in the world, if not the best. He may just savour this position. Völler is standing there as well. Could Völler strike one, I wonder? Or will Maradona attempt the curler? They're signalling from the bench as to what they want them to do. Maradona over the top.
Well, he jumped up in the air when he hit it, but it was far too high. It was never, as you can see, as it goes over the wall there, he got underneath it. No real pace, and Illgner didn't even have to make an attempt. And at the moment, that would have been a real travesty. There's Völler sitting, yes, a heavy sigh, scratch of the ear as well he may, but tactically they're going to carry on like this. The only opportunity they're going to get is a free kick or a set piece such as that, because they're never really getting sufficient men forward to really threaten the German defence. And as I've said, we just got to hope that Germany make a breakthrough so that the game opens up.
We saw Argentina training a couple of nights ago. Maradona had no more luck then from the free kicks. He was not quite at his best on that. This is Häßler. And it's still Häßler, and that's a foul by number 20, Simon. Well, you wouldn't be entirely surprised if the first goal came from a free kick, because there are now so many of them. And eventually, somebody is going to strike one on goal. Maybe Brehme from here. Brehme. The rebound didn't fall kindly for the Germans either. That's Ruggieri on the far side. Goal kick. I would have said, Trevor, that the observers out here are disappointed in the quality and the variety of the free kicks and corners in this competition.
Well, I have been, Paul. We discussed it in the past about whether the ball, I know I spoke about it with the England players, it did fly a little bit, and the long-range shooting as well, it seemed to have an effect on that. Quite a few previous World Cups we've seen some great goals go in, but a lot of them out in this particular tournament have bobbled their way to the goalkeeper and never really been threatening.
Can Maradona be threatening here for Argentina? He may be. That's De Zotti with Kohler. Burachaga's in the middle. De Zotti gets his cross in. Lorenzo's coming in. Germany defend well again. Force Argentina back to the halfway line with 4 minutes to go in the first half. There's no score. FIFA have allowed all the squad players to sit on the bench in this competition, even though you can only nominate 5 subs. And I do feel sometimes things happen near the touchline and the whole bench jumps up, and it can influence the referee. I certainly think that's what happened with Paul Gascoigne. It happened there too. And Argentina have a free kick. Ruggieri's gone up. Lorenzo. Easy one for the Germans to clear. Matthäus. Buchwald. Littbarski.
the German half, and crowd whistling, and really up to now, here we are in a World Cup final, it's got to be one of the poorest halves that we've seen so far throughout the tournament.
Matthäus. On the far side is Brehme. A bit of movement here from Germany. It's Klinsmann on the left. Gets the throw. Matthäus. Berthold. Augenthaler. And again, Buchwald. Matthäus. Augenthaler. Häßler. Just curling away again from Klinsmann and Völler. Less than 2 minutes left in the half now.
Häßler's probably been the pick of the German team, really. He played very well for an hour against England, but then he just got a little knock when Pierre conceded that free kick on the edge of the penalty area, and he went off then. But he looked as lively as any, the one that might make the breakthrough.
This is Brehme. Littbarski. Brehme again. Häßler. Augenthaler. And Häßler tried to get round the back, but he was stretching all the way there.
Argentina just putting a line across the midfield, and they're showing the Germans the midfield inside, so as they can't get down the flanks. Usually Brehme down the left. We saw a couple of early crosses, and down the right this evening they've got Berthold, whose crossing's been very weak, although he's been playing centre-back for most of the tournament. I wonder, perhaps Beckenbauer sometime early in the second half. I think of Rudi, who is a very good attacking flank player down the right, who at the moment is sitting on the bench.
Here's Littbarski for West Germany. Again, the play breaks down 20 yards from goal. That's been the pattern. Simon, Burchaga, Maradona. Troglio. Basualdo, Troglio. Dazzotti. Basualdo. Very nearly a dodgy back pass. At least it gave the German goalkeeper something to do. Illgner, he hasn't had very much to occupy him in this first half, which is now in stoppage time. Matthäus. Buchwald. Brehme. Buchwald. Free kick. Völler was just holding his man off there, using his arms. Clear signal from Edgardo Codesal, a 39-year-old doctor from Mexico City. Hasn't been much surgery needed in the first half. We haven't seen the trainer, so I wouldn't think he'll add on too much time. Most of the delays have been while they've been preparing to take free kicks, actually. And there it is. Half-time arrives in the 1990 World Cup final in Rome. 45 minutes in which West Germany established a technical and a territorial supremacy, but couldn't convert that into goals. Argentina seemed happy to lie in wait. Maradona somewhat anonymous, and not too much to excite the 73,000 people inside the Olympic Stadium. Half that Argentina inside the Olympic Stadium. Half that Argentina are going to make a substitution, because number 15 Pedro Monzon has come onto the pitch, and the manager although you're not seeing this picture at the moment. Carlos Bilardo is calling the referee across to tell him which player is going to leave the field. This has to be done formally, even though Monzon came out with the other players. And it may be that it's one defender for another, and that Oscar Ruggeri has gone. So Ruggeri has been replaced by Monzon. And while that happened, I was also keeping my eye on the touchline, because they're warming up number 6 Calderon as well. He's running up and down the track, so obviously Argentina see a change of tactics somewhere along the way here. And the newcomer Monzon has gone straight to mark Klinsmann in the role that Ruggeri has vacated. Häßler for West Germany, meantime. Littbarski. And still. Littbarski, a lovely run, a good effort, and the best we've seen so far. Coming up to just 30 seconds of the second half. Pierre Littbarski at least managing there to attack from midfield. Came across the face of the Argentine defence, and the shot was just going away.
A wonderful piece of skill, and just the way to unlock tight defences like that. Dribble past 3 defenders and the ball just missing that far post, unfortunately.
Maradona made a good effort there to get past Buchwald, and he was felled. We've heard about Peter Shilton's retirement from international football. This may well be the last time we see Maradona in a major championship. He's talked about concentrating purely on club football next season. Here he is again, Basualdo. Klinsmann, Häßler. Good break again by Germany. But Argentina funnel back. Chance for them to break here, though. It's Dazzotti up there. And he's turned Kohler, but the cover is on.
Cover on there, really. I mean, Dazzotti turned well, but he's got 3 centre-backs against him, and Argentina just starting off as they did in that opening half. There's Calderon warming up, midfield player, but at the present, none of those midfield players on the field are getting forward at all.
Forward by Augenthaler for the Germans, but it's running away from Thomas Häßler. Basualdo. Good interception by Brehme. Matthäus, it could go. Oh, it's a good battling performance from the West German captain to try and carve away through those 3 tackles. He got the free kick in the end, Matthäus. It's about 30 yards out, so Goicoechea will want some sort of protection. Referee got in the way a bit there as well. It was Troglio whose foul it was. Klinsmann and Buchwald waiting on the far side as Brehme prepares to take it. Oh, and Berthold came in! And the extra man almost found out the Argentinians. The right back had sneaked in beyond everybody else, Thomas Berthold. And not a bad effort at all as the left back, Brehme, takes the kick. The strikers take the defenders away. And on the bounce, Berthold just clears the crossbar.
Sums up his night really so far, getting forward. He's had 2 or 3 poor crosses. That one not easy to head on target because it bounced in front of him, but the classic rule is to head down, and he got underneath it, went over the crossbar. Anything on target there so close in must have had a chance of flying in.
Basualdo for Argentina, tackled by Häßler. And West Germany start the second half in much the same manner as the first, pushing forward. Foul. That's the man who's just come on, Monzon, who fouled Rudi Völler.
This time, and the flag stayed down and they still couldn't finish, and Rudi Völler is having a bit of a nightmare tonight as an attacker who's had some excellent service into him but has failed to produce his usual devastating finish. They were clear there, the hands went up for offside and there was no flag.
This quarter on just about to come on, but there was no flag. Two great crosses from Brehme. The first one, Berthold missing out, and on that occasion Völler decided to try and use his feet. I think if it had cut across, taken the angle across towards goal and then got his head to it, it'd been better off.
Brehme with a push on the far side on Thomas Häßler by Sensini. Still Häßler. It's going to be a corner if it goes, but it didn't. Matthäus. Kohler. Applause from the German supporters. 6 minutes gone in the second half, no score, but they've still got nearly all the game. Brehme. Looking for Littbarski. He's got it. Back heel was by Troglio. There's no free kick been given. And the break is by Simon. The tackle by Buchwald on Maradona. Collected by Troglio. Maradona. It was fouled by Völler and Buchwald between them in the end. It's a good run by Diego Maradona. Whether he was quite as badly hurt as that, you can make up your own mind. Rudi Völler, in my view, was the offender more than Buchwald. He got the first challenge in, number 9. And it looks to me as if Völler, who was sent off against Holland after the Rijkaard incident, may now be being booked. Matthäus is allowed to go and protest as captain, but he's being waved away. And as Maradona remains on the ground, Völler gets the yellow card.
Völler there, Buchwald were the two. You saw Tangler, Augenthaler, in fact, it wasn't it was the initial shot from Völler, but I think you'll find it was the other defender who then just followed through a little bit with a kick.
There's a bit of an argument going on, Trevor, because they tried to bring a stretcher on. Brehme raced up to them and told them they couldn't, and in the meantime Burachaga's going to come off and Calderon is going to go on. Burachaga looks rather mystified, I have to say. Scorer of the winning goal 4 years ago, being replaced. So it's Völler in the book, it's Calderon on the pitch, it's a free kick to Argentina, and Maradona has gone right up onto the edge of the penalty area, almost for the first time. There he is. Again, marked by Buchwald. Oh, good play by Thomas Berthold. It's got Klinsmann on that side and Völler nearer to us. Völler's made a run right across the box now. Offside, flags up. Klinsmann was hoping there that he might find the space that Völler had left. Now, is it my imagination or is the game just picking up slightly? It's not before time if it is. That was Sensini. Calderon, Troglio. Calderon is wearing 6, the man who's just come on. Augenthaler. Häßler. And again, Carlos Bilardo, who, like Beckenbauer, steps down after this game as the manager of his country, is off the off the seat there in animated fashion. Free kick to Argentina, and his opposite number watches intently. Osvaldo, Maradona. But they surrounded him again. Littbarski got the touch to Häßler. This is Matthäus. Klinsmann's made good space. Völler's made his way into the penalty area. That's Klinsmann's cross. Völler bumping and barging, didn't get anywhere near it. And it's still Völler. And it's Littbarski. And he's curled it when Klinsmann on the far post was screaming for a cross.
He's continued screaming to let Littbarski know what he thought of it as well. There's no way really in that range he's going to curl it in, and as you can see, Völler wins possession, plays it in to Littbarski, who looks up, and I'm sure he would have seen Klinsmann with his hands up at that stage, and you see Klinsmann there throwing his hand towards Littbarski, saying I was in space, which he was, and not very happy.
And neither are the neutrals with the amount of goal mouth incident we've seen in this World Cup final. Most of it's come at the Argentine end. We've been playing for 10 minutes in the second half, but the South Americans have shown no great ambition, hence the whistles. Although Maradona has taken up a more advanced position now, up with Desotti, and Buchwald has gone back to shadow him. Calderon, Serizuela. Berthold, Häßler, Berthold, good play on the far side, Völler's waiting in the centre, so is Klinsmann here, what a good chance. Häßler, and there's a player down in the penalty area injured, but Germany play on. Häßler again. Matthäus, that's a bad one. Lorenzo puts his hands up. You're watching an earlier challenge there actually by Simon, but it's the last one on the far side that has got the crowd whistling. I haven't seen a card come out, and Matthäus takes the free quickly to Berthold. Matthäus again. And Augenthaler is onside. A chance for Germany. Oh, he's brought down. Penalty. Was it? Or did the referee play on? In which case it was nearly an own goal, but wasn't. They're screaming for a flag in the first place, the Argentines, but Augenthaler was given onside as he tried to go round the last man, or the goalkeeper. Was he brought down? Well, it was nearly an own goal then, by Troglio, I think. There was a man on the line to save it, but the debate there is double-edged. Was there or not? Should there have been an offside? Should there have been a penalty? That's possibly the greatest moment for discussion that we've had so far in this World Cup final. It came after 13 minutes of the second half. Kohler on for Argentina. Trevor.
Well, he was left alone at the far post there. I don't think he was offside myself, and he got caught in two minds. He brought it under control well. He wasn't sure whether to cross or shoot, and then Goycochea closed him down and realised he was in trouble, and I think then he went for the penalty. So in both cases, I think the referee did well.
The referee obviously decided that Augenthaler dived, and in fact the chance fell to the wrong player from the German point of view. He's not often in that position, Klaus Augenthaler, is he? This is Klinsmann. Berthold. Matthäus. Berthold. Häßler. They're waiting in the middle for the cross, and again it's overhit. Klinsmann. I'm really disappointed by some of the technique in this World Cup from the top teams.
Seems to me the Germans should be able to cross the ball better than that, and better than they have been doing tonight. Although there were some good ones whipped in the first half, there have been several that have gone way, way beyond the target of Klinsmann and Völler, which is why Argentina and Bodo are still very much in the match. Berthold. Klinsmann. He's got the free kick. Littbarski has placed the ball. Buchwald and Augenthaler have come from the back. Littbarski pulls it back a few paces. Berthold joins the players in the penalty area. And they fooled them. Brehme with the shot, and Augenthaler had to scramble down, and there was real variety in that free kick. As everybody packed into the penalty area, West Germany came up with something fresh. Corner now to be taken by Littbarski. Berthold's up, Augenthaler, back heel from him. Maradona's back there. Oh, he's got one in the face, or so he would appear to have had. He's gone down holding his head. Maradona, player's gone on. The referee didn't see it, I don't think. Matthäus. Oh, he has now, and the Germans have sportingly kicked the ball out. Lothar Matthäus, number 10, kicked the ball out so that his opposite number, and I don't know whether that was an elbow by mistake, because Maradona appeared to be exonerating Rudi Völler.
I think he was soon recovered, considering he was rolling around. Here you see here, just gets a little touch there, almost just to fend off, really. It wasn't a full force of the elbow, and he certainly recovered pretty quick within a few seconds.
I think it was Buchwald, actually, who may have caught him as they spread out of the penalty area. Good spell again by West Germany. They've really carried the game to Argentina throughout. Three waiting for a cross. Häßler. Klinsmann. Again, bearing out what the... Jürgen Klinsmann bearing out what was being said at half-time by Jimmy and Terry, that he and Völler have been below par in front of goal.
Pierre just getting a bit of attention on that eye of his. You can see just underneath the eye, a little bit of a cut, bit of blood there. But I should think Franz Beckenbauer must be feeling a bit frustrated, because they've certainly had their best 10 minutes of the match as far as possession and creating chances, and at the moment they just can't seem to get the vital one on target that'll beat Goicoechea. Probably the nearest a few minutes ago was Brehme. There's Beckenbauer, had his substitutes warming up as well. Unsure possibly whether to introduce somebody else, but then whilst they're having this pressure and creating one or two chances, might not want to disrupt things.
"17 minutes gone in the second half of the World Cup final. Argentina 0, West Germany 0. The German supporters wondering just how it is that their team have failed to score. Oh, now Maradona's put his foot up, and he's caught Buchwald. So that's an absolute repetition of what happened between the two players in the other half. Drink at this stage. It's very humid in the Olympic Stadium, and Desmond Lynam was mentioning shots and goal attempts at half-time. I understand that the latest count is 19 for West Germany and 1 for Argentina, which gives you some idea of how the game has gone. Matthäus for West Germany. Klinsmann, Völler and Littbarski waiting in the middle, and Klinsmann gets brought crashing down. This is going to be... Oh, it's red! Monzon is off. It's number 15, Pedro Monzon, the substitute, who has dived in on Klinsmann, and it's his first offence, but he's gone. Red card in the World Cup final, the first time it's ever happened. Well, it was a diabolical tackle, I have to say. And the Mexican referee showed the red card. Maradona, predictably, has come to protest, presumably to say that that tackle on Klinsmann was Monzon's first offence. And we have high drama here in Rome. Well, that he definitely went for the man and not the ball. The German player rolled over, as you would expect. And the referee, who had a little bit of time to think about it, he had to run across about 30 or 40 yards, took out the red card. Having said that, Monzon is still on the pitch at the moment.
Klinsmann gets up, there he is, Monzon. I think he's reluctantly deciding he's got to go. It was a very bad tackle. Must say, I'm not sure whether Klinsmann injured himself in the first tackle or when he rolled over right up in the air again, when he realised he got brought down. He did make a meal of it, to say the least, but there he goes, Monzon.
Argentina are down to 10 men. Pedro Monzon, who only came on at half-time as a substitute, has been sent off the field. First man ever to be sent off in a World Cup final. And Bilardo now, having had 4 players suspended, now loses another one. And the penalty area is packed as West Germany prepare to take the free kick. Matthäus is going to deliver it. It's been cleared by Lorenzo as far as Andy Brehme. And he's probably had the best 2 shots of the night, the left back.
He is a world-class player, there's no doubt about that. Whipped in, half cleared, and can hit the ball with either foot. This time it's a right footer, just past the post. Hit the other one, the free kick, a left footer. Looks like Gyorkachi had saved it. Anywhere on the edge of the area, either foot is particularly dangerous.
Argentina have got the worst disciplinary record in this World Cup. 21 yellow cards and now 2 red. Previous player sent off was Justi in the semi-final. And that's why so many of the neutrals are hoping that West Germany win. And on the play that we've seen, and we're halfway through the second half, they certainly deserve to. But they haven't finished well. This is another tangle involving Troglio. Matthäus. Häßler. Buchwald. It's the 15th sending off of the World Cup, by the way, and there have been 168 yellow cards. Brehme. Littbarski. Those figures sound high. Remember, referees were told by FIFA to crack down heavily on foul play. Völler's in there. Littbarski's in there. So is Klinsmann. It's going to come to Augenthaler. He lobs it back in. There's an offside flag up even before the German player was bundled over. Klinsmann looks across to the line and sees that it's a free kick the other way.
Klinsmann's learnt a few tricks as well in Italian football. You mentioned Maradona going down, but as you can see here, Klinsmann, Völler offside there. You don't quite see the replay go through, but once the whistle goes, Klinsmann does go down like a sack of potatoes looking for the free kick.
So it's still Argentina 0, West Germany 0, but Argentina are playing a man short. Dazzotti, Calderon, Dazzotti, looking for Maradona, who was in the centre-forward position. Brehme did awfully well for Germany. Häßler. Jürgen Klinsmann turns Lorenzo. Plays it nicely inside to Littbarski. Berthold on the far side. Matthäus. Brehme. Augenthaler. Littbarski. And they're queuing up again in the middle. And again the cross doesn't come in first time. Berthold. It might now. West Germany have pressed and pushed forward and probed, but they haven't properly penetrated. Häßler. Matthäus. Augenthaler. It's hard to remember an Argentina attack Brehme. Well, that tackle was from the back as well. That's Serizuela on Völler. Minutes of the 90 left. Still, Argentina put up a dogged resistance to a West German team who've been thoroughly in charge from the first whistle, but Franz Beckenbauer is going to have to think about substitutions now, and it may well be that we shall see Reuter, who's just taken his tracksuit top off. They seem to have no ambition at all, Argentina, to push players forward. Brehme. Matthäus. This is Kohler, number 4. Berthold. Häßler. Brehme. Klinsmann. And the Argentine player who headed the ball from him has gone down hurt, and so has Klinsmann.
Another good Brehme cross, and just a clash of heads there. I'm sure there'll be no problems soon. And there's Reuter, who's going to come on. And I think that 10-minute spell when West Germany had 1 or 2 chances, perhaps just hesitated in Franz Beckenbauer making that decision. But Berthold, who's the man he's replaced, as I said, is in those attacking positions, which is so important to get good crosses in when, in fact, you're facing a defensive lineup like Argentina. I think, Berthold's crossing has been very poor. So Reuter, much better attacking player down that flank, should get a similar sort of crossing that we've seen from this man here, Brehme.
Well, the story of the match is encapsulated in that incident. The ball has been swung in by West Germany on countless occasions, but either it hasn't been quite the cross Klinsmann and Völler wanted, or they haven't been able to convert it, one or the other. And it's going to be a straight switch as far as the Germans are concerned, because Reuter, who's wearing number 2, plays down the right-hand side, just like Berthold, the man he's replaced. Häßler. Number 5, Augenthaler. Matthäus. And there is Reuter, in fact, just come on.
gone down, but the referee is sharp enough to see that he threw himself against the defender, and the free kick goes the other way.
As you said, the Argentine defenders just pointing out to the referee to keep an eye out for Rudi Völler there, looking for the penalty, realising he wasn't going to get the cross, and stumbled his way into the Argentinian defender and fell over, hoping to get the decision.
There are 15 minutes left of the 90 in the 1990 World Cup final here in Rome in the Olympic Stadium. The score is 0-0. It's been a procession towards the Argentine goal nearly the whole of the match, with West Germany having all of the play. It looks like continuing that way, except that the referee says the ball was moving when Littbarski took the free kick. Matthäus. Klinsmann. Maradona. Play on, says the referee. And Reuter finds Häßler. This time it's back with Augenthaler. And again the two markers close in on Völler and Klinsmann. Basualdo, Buchwald, those two play for the same club, Stuttgart. I think that's one of the problems with this World Cup, you know, that so many of the players are based in Europe now, they know each other too well. The element of surprise seems to have gone. And you don't feel you're watching teams from two different continents here, but they're from two very different leagues if you examine the football we've seen so far in 75 minutes. As Maradona goes down, the Germans have gone forward at every opportunity, and Argentina seem to have tried not to. But they might now with Kohler on, and they have, and it's going to be a goal kick, but or is it? Well, the Germans are screaming at the linesman. In fact, the referee has given a corner there, which Calderon will take. Number 13, Lorenzo, is up. So was Dazzotti. Matthäus. He's lost it. Did he bring his man down? Argentina wanted a penalty there. Matthäus on Calderon. Matthäus again. I thought that was a foul on that far side. I don't want to go against the run of play in the sense that Argentina wouldn't have deserved it, but they may have a case for a penalty. In which case there's one to argue on either side. Augenthaler having claimed he was brought down earlier. This is Reuter. Buchwald. Häßler. Reuter. It came off Lorenzo, the defender, and there was a foul then, I think, by Klinsmann, was there? Yes. Did you make that a possible penalty incident, Trevor, at the other end?
No, I wouldn't really have felt that was a penalty. Matthäus actually tried to bring the ball down in his own penalty area, just ran away from him, and Lorenzo was there, and I think they did touch, but I don't think it was a definite bringing it down of his standing foot. On that occasion there, I thought it was an excellent cross by Reuter, and it was only the second header then, in fact, which was penalised from Germany's point of view. If they'd have got the first header in, that would have been a goal, and it's good, I think, to see him already making a difference down the right.
Just a reminder too, we do obviously have people who join the match part of the way through, that Argentina are down to 10 men. Monzon was sent off shortly after coming on at the start of the second half. But as has happened so often in this World Cup, the 11 men against the 10 can't always make it pay. What a strange path to the final, and during the final Argentina have had. Quarter-final victory on penalties when they looked like losing that shootout to Yugoslavia, a semi-final victory on penalties against Italy after having had a man sent off, and now they're down to 10 men again, and nobody can quite work out why it's still 0-0 against West Germany, who've done all the attacking. Matthäus. Augenthaler. Reuter. Häßler. And still. But Argentina have pulled, predictably, all those 10 players back behind the ball. Matthäus. And it's a question of whether the Germans have got the imagination to get through, and so far they haven't had, with 10 minutes left here in the 90. Surely the final's not going to go to extra time and penalties as well. Kohler. Shot hit Kohler on. This is Sensini. Well, the Italians in the crowd are certainly getting restless now. It's not been the spectacle that the world was hoping for. Largely because only one team is trying to win the game. Augenthaler. Stefan Reuter on the right again. Augenthaler. Matthäus. Häßler. Brought it down well. The shot is his own player. There's an offside flag up. Reuter's shot, but I don't think it would have mattered. The linesman on the far side was signalling. So Häßler would have been reprieved anyway.
Yes, it was when Häßler had his first shot. Either Völler or Klinsmann. Here you see him going across the penalty area, and it's Völler stepping out of the wave, but is in fact in an offside position. And although Reuter hit the shot, well, the flag was already up. Beckenbauer getting a bit warm as well. I'm sure he doesn't want to go into extra time, and it would be a travesty if it was all the game decided on penalties.
What really disappoints me is that Argentina, for all that's been said about them in this tournament, are the world champions, and you'd think they'd come out and just show a little bit more spirit and or a little bit more affection for the game and try and attack rather more than they have. Maradona still being shadowed by Buchwald. They do have a free kick here, Argentina, and De Zotti's in there as well. There goes Basualdo, and he's forced a corner. Well, if Argentina scored now, they wouldn't exactly win the World Cup. It would be more a case of them stealing it. 13, Lorenzo is up again. Played short to Basualdo. Calderon. Away by Kohler, then by Littbarski. And volleyed forward by Reuter, and they've got 3 on here, the Germans. Häßler's first touch couldn't quite bring the ball under control. Otherwise, there was a great chance in prospect, as Argentina had to hurry back from the corner. Matthäus. Völler. Völler is brought down. Penalty! A penalty to West Germany in the World Cup final, with 7 minutes to go. And the Argentines barge the referee, and there's going to be cards out here. Yellow immediately, I think, for Troglio, 21. Maradona in the thick of it, and the goalkeeper. And they've lost their heads completely. The German flags are waved. Rudi Völler latches onto a ball, rolled into him by Matthäus, and the leg went out, Völler went over. A penalty has been given, the yellow card has been shown to Troglio at least, and the World Cup, which seems to revolve around penalty kicks, could be decided with one in normal play. And what a responsibility for the man who has to take it. Matthäus took one earlier in the tournament, but Brehme is the player who's gone nearest to the penalty spot. And still Maradona pursues the argument, and another booking, I think, almost certainly. It may even have been Maradona. And the behaviour of the South Americans, quite appalling. Whatever they think of the decision, They should get out of the way and let the kick be taken. They've made no friends here at all, the world champions. It's quite unnecessary that this should be prolonged. And it's going to be Andy Brehme who has placed the ball. Goe Kachea, who's been a hero on penalty kicks in the last 2 rounds, now has to face perhaps the most important one of all. It's Brehme for West Germany with the penalty. And is that the goal that wins the World Cup? Andy Brehme with 5 minutes to go. And West Germany are on the verge of winning the World Championship. Franz Beckenbauer is minutes away from a great achievement, and Argentina are quite rightly and properly punished for a performance and an incident from which they take no credit whatsoever. Brehme rolled that just inside the post, and it was a good thing it was in the corner because the goalkeeper went the right way.
Yes, it was what you'd call a teaser, wasn't it? He didn't hit it well, but it was so far in the corner that the goalkeeper couldn't get to it. No, I suppose justice really done. The penalty decision, a questionable one, really. I think Rudi Völler was definitely waiting for the half challenge from the defender. He couldn't really get the ball, but I don't think he really made contact with either of his ankles, but he went down and he got the pen. So, as you say, Argentina punished, rightly so, because they almost attack against defence this second half. Great ball from Matthäus through to Völler to get the penalty. In a similar position, wasn't it, to the one Paul Gascoigne gave away, where the forward is waiting for the challenge and then he's going to go down.
But wait, Maradona looks for Dazzotti, but the player's already been pulled back. Oh, look at that, Dazzotti on Kohler. This is disgraceful it's off! The second sending off. Dazzotti is dismissed. Oh, and I think the referee has been not struck, but certainly, oh, look at this. The referee has been physically manhandled by 4 players. And if Argentina continue this, FIFA will have to ban them from the next World Cup, surely. You can't have this in the final. The yellow card to Maradona. But the red card has gone to Dazzotti. And his world is in tatters now. And his team have let themselves down so badly. You really can't find words to express how they've spoiled what's supposed to be the great showpiece. Kohler tried to take the ball away. Dazzotti pulled him round the neck, put him on the ground. And he would say, well, was that a sending off offence? It was petulant, but the red card came out, and the way Argentina reacted again will go against them. There are 2 minutes to go. Kohler says he was struck in the face. There'll be a lot of talk about whether the Germans overreacted on a lot of these things, but the fact of the matter is that Argentina are down to 9 men. Because Dazzotti has gone, Monzon went earlier, the Germans are being told to sit down on the bench. There's over a minute, just over a minute to go, and I just don't quite know what FIFA do about the way Argentina have behaved. Brehme to Littbarski. Oh, look at that. This is back to the bad old days, back to the 60s and 70s, back to Ratine and all the reprehensible image that Argentinian football once had. We thought it had been cleaned up in 78 and in 86, but they've resorted now back to their roots, and it's not been a pleasant sight for the watching world. Millions look forward to this game, and I have to say they've ruined it. Germany, meantime, will have to take some responsibility, I suppose, if they're accused of overacting. But it doesn't present a particularly good image whichever way you look at it. The fact of the matter is that there is less than a minute to go, and I would think the referee would do well to blow as early as he can. West Germany lead by 1-0, a penalty by Brehme, and they're within seconds of winning the World Cup and taking it away from an Argentine team who deserve just that. Offside, surely. But they think it's time on the bench, but I don't think it is. I think it's offside. It's a free kick to Argentina. They have one last chance. The photographers are walking around the pitch for the presentations. The 45 minutes is up. The Germans have pulled everybody back. The referee has run forward. Maradona's in there, and so are the Germans, and they might just break again with Häßler. And onside, Matthäus. And can they finish it in style? Jürgen Klinsmann. Oh, a pity he couldn't. We would have had something to remember then if he could have volleyed that one in the roof of the net. But it may have wasted a few valuable seconds for the Germans as the ball is retrieved. Trevor Brooking.
Well, as you say, the game tarnished and the world game tarnished really by the spectacle in these last few minutes. As you say, the Germans did make a little bit of a meal of it, but Desotti, most managers will tell their players if you touch or handle somebody else, you're going to be in trouble with the referee. And there he is now, Argentina down to 9 men.
And Germany really ought to make the extra 2 men tell, didn't they, on the break? This is Matthäus. Brehme. Number 8, Häßler. Völler in the middle, so is Klinsmann. Häßler couldn't help, he tried to square it, and the one defender who could have stopped it got in the way. Well, they're looking at their watches down on the West German bench, because we're in the 2nd minute of stoppage time. Franz Beckenbauer, who played in a World Cup winning team, looks now like equaling the record of Mario Zagallo of Brazil and managing one as well. And Kohler of Mexico, who's had a real handful to deal with tonight, and I would say hasn't done too badly in the circumstances, might well be advised to end this as soon as he can. But with 2 men over, the Germans should be all right. Häßler, Matthäus, Littbarski, Brehme, and still they wait in the middle. Völler and Klinsmann. Matthäus. Well, they can go back to the goalkeeper if they want.
Somebody from FIFA was telling me this afternoon Argentina have booked their flight back straight tonight, which was a bit of a problem in organisation. I think they must have known what their performance was going to be.
They leave at 4:30 in the morning. I don't think there'll be too many people to see them off after this. Fuller. Littbarski. I don't know where these referees find the stoppage time from sometimes. I really don't. FIFA criticised the referee in the semi-final. He played 8 minutes overtime at one point. And there it is! West Germany win the World Cup for the 3rd time and equal the record of Italy and Brazil. They take the championship away from Argentina, and Franz Beckenbauer becomes the 2nd man to play in and manage a World Cup winning team. The German supporters celebrate. After what has to go down as a disappointing final, then the result has to be seen to be right by the watching world. West Germany made all the running, and there's trouble again on the pitch. The referee was surrounded and pushed and shoved by Argentine players, and the inquiry into this match, I believe, will go on for quite some time. FIFA will have to do something about it, because South American players have manhandled the officials. And Carlos Bilardo's career, well, somebody's been punched in the face, it would seem. Carlos Bilardo's career has ended in disgrace, really, for his team, while Beckenbauer's has ended in ecstasy. the scenes on the pitch are quite extraordinary. There's celebration on one side, and there's anger and resentment and hostility on the other. One or two of the Argentines are now coming over to shake hands, and the mood seems to be calming down. But quite what that's done for the game of football, I'm not entirely sure, and it would be too early to judge. The game itself was all West Germany's from the first whistle. They made opportunity, and Maradona had none. The chances were all at one end, and the lack of ambition on the part of the ex-world champions was quite startling. They finished the match with 9 men and very few friends. But for the West Germans, who from the start of this tournament, and I saw their first match against Yugoslavia, have by and large tried to attack, tried to show the better side of the game. They have been involved in 1 or 2 unsavoury incidents, but their supporters will feel that they've proved again, having played in 5 of the last 7 World Cup finals, and now won it 3 times, Trevor Brooking, that on the night certainly the right team won.
Well, you just relieved really that it is West Germany. It was a shame for the game that they didn't get the goal early in the match, and then Argentina hopefully would have had to come out. But really, especially when they lost the first man sent off, they just sat back with their 10 men, almost waited for, in fact, the penalties to come in. And here you see the ball, in fact, just goes into the defender, but you can see Völler is already going for the dive. Sensini it was who was tackling. He didn't really need to make the tackle. He could have just held off, but he tried to make it. You see, he stretches, trying to get the touch, but nothing really has happened to Völler. But as soon as he's felt somebody making a challenge, he's dived full length, and he's got the penalty that's won the World Cup.
Yes, well, that's obviously what angered Argentina, but the fact of the matter remains that the World Cup seems to have revolved around penalty kicks in some shape or form, and it has been won by such a kick, but at least it was in normal play and not in a penalty shootout. We have to be grateful for that. West Germany, the world champions, they will play in the United States in 1994 without having to qualify. Argentina will go home and face, I would imagine, quite an inquiry. And I just wonder, a man who believes deeply in the spirit of the game and has seen many World Cup matches and played in the final himself, I just wonder what Bobby Charlton feels about the way that match went in the second half.
Well, I'm sorry to say that it's deteriorated the way that I thought that it might. When the Argentines lose the cool, they certainly lose it completely. And of course they want to play the game to their rules and nobody else's. They don't accept referees' decisions. Any sort of foul, it doesn't matter what it's like, if it's going to stop them scoring a goal, it doesn't matter. What you see today is the worst side of South American football. It's disastrous for them because people actually look on them with great skill and with great affection, but this is the worst side that we're seeing now. And there's many neutral people throughout the game would be absolutely delighted that the fairest and the best team has won. They have, and the Argentinians will have to go back and lick the wounds. But I think that they'll have to have some deep thinking about whether they're going to come back to this country again and perform in the way that they have this time. You can hear now the whistles from behind. People are outraged at the way that they've played this match. Not so much that they've been unadventurous in the way they've played, but they've been unceremonious in the tackling. They've not accepted the referees. In fact, they've physically threatened the referee. And I think it's an absolute disgrace. I'm very pleased that the German side have won, because it reflects very badly on our game when we see football played like this. I'm terribly disappointed. Argentina, fine history of playing football. The only time they've ever done well is really when they've played fairly and they've tried to play and conform with the rules of the game. Unfortunately, I'm very disappointed in them. Nevertheless, congratulations to the Germans. At least they kept their cool. They played methodical football, and for the possession that they had and the skill that they showed, it's right that they should have won.
Thank you very much, Bobby, for those thoughts. And I think they reflect what a lot of people at home will be thinking too. And Maradona's in tears, and there'll be a few shook the world football tonight after the way his team behaved. He, I must say, was not one of the guilty members. That point should be made, although he was booked at the end for protesting. The two players who were sent off and those who charged the referee, and indeed there may even be charges from FIFA when all this is examined again on video. But there's the face of a man who came here as the outstanding footballer in the world and goes home crying his eyes out. The Germans, meantime, are full of smiles. They reversed the result of 4 years ago in Mexico City when they lost to Argentina 3-2. And Franz Beckenbauer ends his 6-year campaign as the West German coach in triumph, with Matthäus on the left there, number 10, in with a very good chance of being voted the outstanding player of the World Cup. There is a prize for that, and he was leading certainly until a few days ago. Prior to the penalty being given, it may be worth reflecting that the Germans had an earlier shout with Augenthaler, but that's history now. And as the president of FIFA, João Havelange, in the centre there, waits to present the trophy, the West Germans start to sing and the Argentines hang their heads. And the faces on each side say everything about what's happened.
I mean, it's bad enough to lose a World Cup final. Nobody wants to lose it, but I mean, the manner in which they've lost it, I think, is the thing that's going through the Argentinian players' mind. If you got the result, they might have thought it was worth it.
Just nice to see Bobby Robson go forward on behalf of English football to receive the Fair Play Award, which the England team won on account of their behaviour and the sporting manner in which they conducted themselves on the pitch. That's a terrific gesture, and one which our players can be very proud of indeed. And Bobby Robson, I know, was thrilled to go down and get that here in the Olympic Stadium in Rome. England, the best behaved team of the 1990 World Cup. They did themselves and everybody at home proud. And look at that, a nice little handshake from Rudi Völler, the man whose attack led to the penalty that won this World Cup final and left Diego Maradona to lead up the losers. And there are whistles all round the stadium. The dignitaries are applauding, and Bilardo, the coach, goes up with Maradona. And the Italian President, Cossiga, and the Prime Minister, Andreotti, stand there with João Havelange. And Diego Maradona just can't hold back the tears. They only got to the final by winning a penalty shootout in the quarter-final and the semi-final. Many people felt they were lucky to be here tonight, and they're going away with the losers' medals because of a penalty. Cossiga, the Italian president, has taken a great interest in the World Cup. But I think dignitaries from all over the world, whether they're in government or in football, will be somewhat shell-shocked by what they saw in the last 25 minutes here tonight in the Olympic Stadium. I've never seen anything like it in my commentating career in the World Cup, certainly never in a final. And I won't go on about it any longer, but there has to be some sort of inquiry if the name of the game is going to be protected. Very serious face of Sepp Blatter there, the FIFA General Secretary on the other side of João Havelange. He's been quite outspoken in comments about discipline and refereeing, but he's got a bit more to think about now before the United States in 4 years' time. Knizia there is getting his loser's medal. He was suspended tonight, and that point should also be underlined. They had 4 players out with suspension, and they finished the tournament, if my reckoning is correct, Argentina, with 3 sendings off and 25 yellow cards, Trevor.
Yeah, it's a disgrace. And Knizia actually was one of the main players who manhandled the referee at the end of the game. That's why security people had to usher into the centre circle, and considering he's suspended already, the last thing Argentina wanted is somebody like him to get involved, and he was pushing and shoving, and certainly his behaviour, I think, will come under scrutiny. Again, it's fewer through medals, aren't there? Seems to be all of 22 and a few extras as well, and I should think that the silver medals that they're receiving will be somewhat tarnished by the time they arrive home.
Well, let's turn now to the better side of football, the lighter side, the happier side, because this display puts a smile back on a few faces, and the West Germans are standing very dutifully waiting to go and receive the FIFA World Cup, the gold trophy, which President Cossiga of Italy is presumably going to hand over when we've had the little routine here. It's nice also to feel that the England team, who played so well in that semi-final and only lost to West Germany on penalties, have been able to get home in time to see the team who beat them win the trophy. West Germany, Lothar Matthäus, for me, one of the best players of this World Cup, in which perhaps there weren't as many outstanding performers as normal, but he kept up a very high standard. He was in the squad in 82, he played in 86, he's the captain in 1990, and Lothar Matthäus goes forward to receive the World Cup on behalf of West Germany, who win the championship for the 3rd time. And join Italy and Brazil as the leaders in World Cup football. Winners' medals being handed out. The losers, as Trevor said, get silver. England last night and Italy got bronze, but here are the gold medals being presented to Jürgen Klinsmann and the other West German players. Rudi Völler, his striking partner, is just behind him. Plays his club football here in Rome, and he was the player who earned the penalty with which West Germany have won the 14th World Cup. And now I'm pleased to say the mood in the stadium has got a lot calmer, and a great deal more benevolent than it was just a few minutes ago when that match was ending. This is the climax to a month of football, 52 matches, some quite good, some not so good. Wouldn't have called it a vintage World Cup, but at the end there has to be a winner. And I don't think too many people are going to argue about West Germany, although one reflects again just how close England were to putting them out in the semi-final. The floodlit scene from the sky of the Olympic Stadium in Rome, where the World Cup draws to a conclusion for another couple of years until the qualifying matches start for 1994. When, as I say, West Germany, as of right, will play in the United States, and I just wonder whether they might play against the United States team managed by Franz Beckenbauer. What a career he's had.
Well, a magnificent career, and thoroughly deserved, as you say, he'd be the manager here today. They've got a great side, really. Illgner in goal, very steady. Brehme, the left-back, outstanding. Kohler, an excellent marker. And certainly in midfield, Matthäus outstanding. I thought Häßler certainly will be one to mature as the years go on. Of course, the two strikers, Völler and Klinsmann, perhaps not at their best in the semi-final and final, but still very dangerous. And I'm sure, as the rest of the squad go up to collect their medals, I'm just intrigued as to who is actually going to receive the trophy.
West Germany, the world champions. They will play in the United States in 1994 without having to qualify. Argentina will go home and face, I would imagine, quite an inquiry. And I just wonder, a man who believes deeply in the spirit of the game and has seen many World Cup matches and played in the final himself, I just wonder what Bobby Charlton feels about the way that match went in the second half.
Well, I'm sorry to say that it's deteriorated the way that I thought it might. When the Argentines lose the cool, they certainly lose it completely. And of course they want to play the game to their rules and nobody else's. They don't accept referees' decisions. Any sort of foul, it doesn't matter what it's like. If it's going to stop them scoring a goal, it doesn't matter. What you see today is the worst side of South American football. It's disastrous for them because people actually look on them with great skill and with great affection, but this is the worst side that we're seeing now. And there's many neutral people throughout the game would be absolutely delighted that the fairest and the best team has won. They have, and the Argentinians will have to go back and lick the wounds. But I think that they'll have to have some deep thinking about whether they're going to come back to this country again and perform in the way that they have this time. You can hear now the whistles from behind. People are outraged at the way that they've played this match. Not so much that they've been unadventurous in the way they've played, but they've been unceremonious in the tackling. They've not accepted the referees. In fact, they've physically threatened the referee. And I think it's an absolute disgrace. I'm very pleased that the German side have won, because it reflects very badly on our game when we see football played like this. I'm terribly disappointed. Argentina, fine history of playing football. The only time they've ever done well is really when they've played fairly and they've tried to play and conform with the rules of the game. Unfortunately, I'm very disappointed in them. Nevertheless, congratulations to the Germans. At least they kept their cool. They played methodical football, and for the possession that they had and the skill that they showed, it's right that they should have won.
Thank you very much, Bobby, for those thoughts. And I think they reflect what a lot of people at home will be thinking too. And Maradona's in tears, and there'll be a few shed for world football tonight after the way his team behaved. He, I must say, was not one of the guilty members. That point should be made, although he was booked at the end for protesting. The two players who were sent off and those who charged the referee, and indeed there may even be charges from FIFA when all this is examined again on video. But there's the face of a man who came here as the outstanding footballer in the world and goes home crying his eyes out. The Germans, meantime, are full of smiles. They reversed the result of 4 years ago in Mexico City when they lost to Argentina 3-2. And Franz Beckenbauer ends his 6-year campaign as the West German coach in triumph, with Matthäus on the left there, number 10, in with a very good chance of being voted the outstanding player of the World Cup. There is a prize for that, and he was leading certainly until a few days ago. Prior to the penalty being given, it may be worth reflecting that the Germans had an earlier shout with Augenthaler, but that's history now. And as the president of FIFA, João Havelange, in the centre there, waits to present the trophy, the West Germans start to sing and the Argentines hang their heads. And the faces on each side say everything about what's happened.
I mean, it's bad enough to lose a World Cup final. Nobody wants to lose it, but I mean, the manner in which they've lost it, I think, is the thing that's going through the Argentinian players' mind. If you got the result, they might have thought it was worth it.
Just nice to see Bobby Robson go forward on behalf of English football to receive the Fair Play Award, which the England team won on account of their behaviour and the sporting manner in which they conducted themselves on the pitch. That's a terrific gesture, and one which our players can be very proud of indeed. And Bobby Robson, I know, was thrilled to go down and get that here in the Olympic Stadium in Rome. England, the best behaved team of the 1990 World Cup. They did themselves and everybody at home proud. And look at that, a nice little handshake from Rudi Völler, the man whose attack led to the penalty that won this World Cup final and left Diego Maradona to lead up the losers. And there are whistles all round the stadium. The dignitaries are applauding, and Bilardo, the coach, goes up with Maradona. And the Italian President, Cossiga, and the Prime Minister, Andreotti, stand there with João Havelange, and Diego Maradona just can't hold back the tears. They only got to the final by winning a penalty shootout in the quarter-final and the semi-final. Many people felt they were lucky to be here tonight. And they're going away with the losers' medals because of a penalty. Cossiga, the Italian president, has taken a great interest in the World Cup. But I think dignitaries from all over the world, whether they're in government or in football, will be somewhat shell-shocked by what they saw in the last 25 minutes here tonight in the Olympic Stadium. I've never seen anything like it in my commentating career in the World Cup, certainly never in a final. And I won't go on about it any longer, but there has to be some sort of inquiry if the name of the game is going to be protected. Very serious face of Sepp Blatter there, the FIFA General Secretary on the other side of João Havelange. He's been quite outspoken in comments about discipline and refereeing, but he's got a bit more to think about now before the United States in 4 years' time. Knizia there is getting his loser's medal. He was suspended tonight, and that point should also be underlined. They had 4 players out with suspension, and they finished the tournament, if my reckoning is correct, Argentina, with 3 sendings off and 25 yellow cards, Trevor.
Yeah, it's a disgrace. And Knizia actually was one of the main players who manhandled the referee at the end of the game. That's why security people had to usher into the centre circle, and considering he's suspended already, the last thing Argentina wanted is somebody like him to get involved, and he was pushing and shoving, and certainly his behaviour, I think, will come under scrutiny. Again, it's fewer through medals, aren't there? Seems to be all of 22 and a few extras as well, and I should think that the silver medals that they're receiving will be somewhat tarnished by the time they arrive home.
Well, let's turn now to the better side of football, the lighter side, the happier side, because this display puts a smile back on a few faces, and the West Germans are standing very dutifully waiting to go and receive the FIFA World Cup, the gold trophy, which President Cossiga of Italy is presumably going to hand over when we've had the little routine here. It's nice also to feel that the England team, who played so well in that semi-final, and only lost to West Germany on penalties, have been able to get home in time to see the team who beat them win the trophy. West Germany. Lothar Matthäus, for me, one of the best players of this World Cup, in which perhaps there weren't as many outstanding performers as normal, but he kept up a very high standard. He was in the squad in 82, he played in 86, he's the captain in 1990, and Lothar Matthäus goes forward to receive the World Cup on behalf of West Germany, who win the championship for the third time. And join Italy and Brazil as the leaders in World Cup football. Winners' medals being handed out. The losers, as Trevor said, get silver. England last night and Italy got bronze, but here are the gold medals being presented to Jürgen Klinsmann and the other West German players. Rudi Völler, his striking partner, is just behind him. Plays his club football here in Rome, and he was the player who earned the penalty with which West Germany have won the 14th World Cup. And now I'm pleased to say the mood in the stadium has got a lot calmer, and a great deal more benevolent than it was just a few minutes ago when that match was ending. This is the climax to a month of football, 52 matches, some quite good, some not so good. Wouldn't have called it a vintage World Cup, but at the end there has to be a winner, and I don't think too many people are going to argue about West Germany, although one reflects again just how close England were to putting them out in the semi-final. The floodlit scene from the sky of the Olympic Stadium in Rome, where the World Cup draws to a conclusion for another couple of years until the qualifying matches start for 1994. But as I say, West Germany, as of right, will play in the United States, and I just wonder whether they might play against the United States team managed by Franz Beckenbauer. What a career he's had.
Well, a magnificent career, and thoroughly deserved, as you say, he'd be the manager here today. They've got a great side, really. Illgner in goal, very steady. Brehme, the left back, outstanding. Kohler, an excellent marker. And certainly in midfield, Matthäus outstanding. I thought Häßler certainly will be one to mature as the years go on. Of course, the two strikers, Völler and Klinsmann, perhaps not at their best in the semi-final and final, but still very dangerous. And I'm sure that the rest of the squad go up to collect their medals. I'm just intrigued as to who is actually going to receive the trophy itself. I assume Beckenbauer at the end, because normally they hand over the trophy to the captain Matthäus and he lifts it up, but the trophy is still sitting on the table and still to be held up.
Meantime, there's a firework display all around the stadium, a most colourful climax to this month of football competition in Italy, a country with a great passion for the game, and the Italian people just sorry that their own team weren't here to take part in the final, and there may be a few others who wish they had been, when you look back on how the team that beat them behaved. Well, we were spared extra time, and Franz Beckenbauer has gone forward. The sparklers are out, and the medals round the necks, not only of Franz Beckenbauer, but Bertie Vogts there in the picture. You may recognise him, the former defender. He's taking over now from Beckenbauer as the new West German team manager. They have a great belief in continuity in that country. They had him appointed, or ready to be appointed, a couple of years ago, and Beckenbauer is being encouraged to go up behind Matthäus, and Matthäus will now hold up the World Cup
The greatest moment in the career of any footballer anywhere in the world is enjoyed by the players of West Germany in 1990. They are the world champions. The highest scorers in the competition. The goal tonight was their 15th in their 7 games.
Well, an unsatisfactory final in many ways, but the right team won. But would you see Argentina as totally the bad guys tonight, Jimmy?
Well, I think the important thing to remember is that it was an appalling advert for the game of association football throughout the world. That's disaster, because the one thing we want the World Cup to be is a celebration. And without any doubt, Bobby Charlton put it beautifully, the Argentines are the worst culprits. But they didn't play their part without there being offences elsewhere. The referee, chosen as the best referee in the world to referee a game at that level, showed a total lack of understanding of what was happening when 2 professional players collided with each other. That wasn't good enough, and FIFA should put their minds to that. The Germans, we talked about the diving, and the Argentines, you can see them get a sense, if they're, I mean, I must be very careful here about fair play, but you could see them getting aggravated because the Germans were diving and they were getting offences against them which they didn't deserve. Now,
well,
that was the cauldron, and everybody was at fault, if you want to put it that way.
Well, they did get the penalty. It was decided by a penalty, as you know. Let's have another look at it, at the cause of it. Terry, what did you make of it?
Well, I thought, in actual fact, the defender can't see the ball. He hangs his leg in there, and he luckily, I think, gets the ball. And I don't think it's a penalty. I don't think he should have gone in for it. I think he should have stood up. Here, if you can't see the ball, you shouldn't put your foot in. He takes a tremendous risk, but I think he does seem to get the ball. Well, he seems to me, but I still feel that it was bad defending anyway. He gave the referee an opportunity to do that.
Of course, when Brehme came to put it in, the little dummy to go to the goalkeeper's left and tucking it in side foot into that corner, beautifully. We can't work out yet. He's so two-footed, that player. He crosses, he runs with the ball on his left foot and takes the penalties with his right.
And Matthäus has been taking the penalties during the game all through the tournament. It's the first time he's stood up for that.
So they're showing the trophy now to the crowd. Scenes that are absolutely familiar to us at Wembley, of course, and enjoying their moment. But justice was done in the end, wasn't it? I mean, the right team did win. Whatever about the behaviour, whatever about anything else.
They did. Yeah. They behaved terribly, and it's not. We're not. I can't see how we're not even surprised. We knew it was coming. Which we've said we don't like a lot of what was happening. And I'm not anti-Argentina, because the last World Cup I thought they were marvellous. But I think right through this tournament, there's so much I've not liked about their game.
And Maradona,
it will come to a point.
And Maradona, the best player in the world for so long, sort of gently almost faded away in that and ended up in
over the hill, and without Kinesia, no longer a striking force, because he hasn't got the pace and he hadn't got anybody else in the side who had.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Albert's paper, 22 to West Germany, 1 to Argentina.
Goal attempts you're talking about. Yeah. We finished almost with Albert. Well, it's been a fascinating competition, apart from the final, probably. It's taken a month out of our lives. Actually, it's probably added a month to our lives. It's been our privilege at the BBC to know you've watched it all with us. We think it's all over, and it is now. Except, of course, for one more time, it's cue Luciano.